Welcome everyone. Today is a very bittersweet day.
I want to take a picture.
20 years ago, New York City went through the worst disaster ever experienced in its entire history. There have been a few disasters before this one, but this one's by far the most shocking on not just a national level, but also an international level. As many people already know, two towers used to stand right over here. Now, in the place of those two towers, we only have one. Because these iconic towers are constructed in 1973 after a massive engineering project that caused so much residual landfill that they had to spread it out and make an entire new neighborhood, Battery Park City, right next door. Those towers were unceremoniously destroyed on September 11th, 2001. The two planes crashed and they came crumbling down. It's a terrible, terrible event. Many thousands of people lost their lives. The figure goes up to 2,997, around there. And every year there has been events to remember the people who lost their lives. This year being the 20th anniversary, reopened up the grounds after having them closed for a few hours. An event. Today we're going to explore this area of the memorial, as I've done every year, past 5 years. I'll do my best to find any names that I can. I have one name that someone wanted me to show, and I already have that in mind. And yeah, let me know where were you that day, and let's walk around. Right now we are on the North Tower, what used to be the North Tower.
You had a picture of that.
Rushing water here, one of the largest man-made waterfalls in America. I think among the top 10 in the world. Now the people listed here are the people who lost their lives during the terrible, terrible day, September 11th, 2001. And they're grouped together via the relationships that they had. So a lot of them are grouped by the offices that they used to work at, or of course many people worked at maintaining the building, electricians, janitors, plumbers, etc. People who kept up the building in various ways, and of course the people who tried to save as many people as they could. The first responders are also grouped together. People like Keith E. Coleman, Don Pepe Salerno. So I asked everyone not to discuss whatsoever in this broadcast. This show is not the place, and also today is definitely not the time. So no politics in the comments. I am sure I'm going to get asked this quite a lot, so I'll tell everyone where I was at September 11th, and anyone can feel free to repeat it, anyone who asks in the next upcoming hour or so. On September 11th, I was actually at school, and here in New York City, we usually start school first week of September, right after Labor Day weekend. And I was attending Blessed Sacrament School, which was a Catholic school in Jackson Heights, Queens. And I remember being weirded out because all the teachers suddenly seemed so upset. Everyone seemed upset in the staff, and they didn't want to tell us anything. And then they gathered all of us up in the cafeteria. And it was very odd because they weren't telling us what was happening. And the teachers got up and told us the news. It was hard to believe because this type of thing you only would see in the movie. It happened once before in New York, but it was such much smaller scale. Fighter jet plane, by mistake, crashed into the Empire State Building many decades ago. So I, as a person who loves history, already knew about that event. So I couldn't believe something bigger would have ever happened. And they sent all of us home. Anyone who could be picked up was able to be picked up. And my dad, working in the public school system, also got out early, and he picked me up. And we drove down Northern Boulevard in Jackson Heights, Queens. And one thing you should know about Northern Boulevard is that you can see the entire skyline of New York from that perspective. I've shown it in previous live videos. And I remember just seeing that huge plume of smoke looming over the city skyline. It's a sight I will never forget. And that's where I was. Let me know where you were, and I'll do my best to find any names. If anyone has a name that they would like me to find, do go on the website and search. Go to 911memorial.org, I think is the address, and they have the list of all the names, and they have the north or south, N or S, and they have the 2-digit number that runs, and that's how I can locate any names. All right, let's continue. Maliki says you weren't even alive back then. Oh wow, Maliki. Oh, I didn't realize you were very young. Mind-blowing to now know that there are adults out there in the world, 19-year-olds. When this happened, they were born after. Kind of blows my mind. So Mr. Bot was watching with another group in Australia, and your jaw was dropped. Hey, Tuba. Tuba, how are you? I'm doing well, Tuba. Hope you're doing well as well. I hit one of the towers with bad service. There might be a little bit bad service because a lot of people are probably using their phones. Thomas was shocked and watched the whole day. Nice to see you. Sad but memorable day. Miles, thank you so much for tuning in. I was at my aunt's house and I saw it on the news. It was shocking, says Panajotis. Pat says, I keep cutting off. Yes, unfortunately. stream here in good conditions. So if you want to see this without any buffering, you can watch my older video. I went here last year. It was not as packed because it was at the height of the pandemic. But right now it seems like there's so many people using their phones that's causing bad service. So it's unfortunately out of my control. But I'll do my best to stay as still as possible. Nathan, I was 3 years old when it happened. Very young. I was at work, but the president was here in Sarasota at the school. Jen, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, Jen, you were at work, but the president was at Sarasota. So were you also at Sarasota at the same time? Camilla says absolutely horrific and so very sad. Thoughts and blessings to those affected. Indeed.
I'm sorry.
Lots and lots of people here today. Hey, one other thing is I want to give a huge round of hearts for Jen, who's watching on Facebook, Jen Skipper. Thank you so much for sponsoring new microphones. So kind enough to gift a new pair of microphones, the Rode Wireless Go 2, which are quite expensive. And now I'm able to continue doing videos, especially in Ireland, able to do videos using good audio, especially when I have guests, because these are very handy, or windy conditions like I might encounter in Ireland. So huge round of hearts for Jen for sponsoring the new microphones. Thank you so much. And now I'm able to do it here because here there's windy conditions as well. So you'll be able to hear good audio because of Jen. My other pair, unfortunately, I had to send them to repair, and that'll take a month. So thank you so much, Jen, for sponsoring this, especially for the upcoming trip. Let's continue walking around. Jen says, was glad to help. Looking forward to the great videos. My pleasure, Jen. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Bot, thank you so much for the 100 NOK. Thank you so much. You should walk through the Oculus area. Yeah, Marlon, I'll do my best to show as much as the area as possible. We're going to take our sweet time. But yeah, I'll show you the Oculus. Miles says, is WTC2 ever rebuilt? I think the WTC2 is already up. I think they're in the process of 3 and 4. We'll get up closer up to it, but let's see. WTC2 should be being built. So WTC stands for World Trade Center. And that was the development that started in 1964-ish, around there, give or take a year. And took a little bit more than 10 up to until the 1970s. Right now, we are right by the North Tower. Here's an aerial view of what we're walking through right now. These are the original footprints of the Twin Towers. Twin Towers were designed by this architect, Japanese architect, who collaborated with Emery Roth and Sons, a very iconic old architectural firm from New York. And they ended up putting landfill to build these two huge towers, which we would have seen this view right now looking up. That's what we would have seen back then. Mir says WTC2 is not standing yet. It's on pause. Oh, thank you so much for clarifying. So World Trade Center 2 is still not up. It's 3 and 4 that should be up. These ones. Let's go over here. Now to locate names, you go on the website and you'll see these numbers. They run up to 76 and there's only 2, N and S. There's North Tower, 67. Rosa J. Gonzalez, Deborah Merrick. Margaret L. Benson.
Okay, so we're at N66. We'll probably take a look.
Now, after a lot of the wreckage was cleared, it took many months, up to a few years, to fully clear this and make it
I read on one of
able
these
to
flowers
be
that said
developed
camel.
again. In 2006, they unveiled the plans for the memorial. There was so many proposals, but the one that won out was by a man named Michael Arad, who was an Israeli-American architect.
Yeah, let's make them
And
come
instead of
here.
building up like most classical monuments would do, they would build up and they would build tall. He decided to do something different. He decided to just commemorate where the towers used to stand, with a simple waterfall that leads to a seeming void, if you can see the bottom of it from this angle. These are designed in a way where you can see the names in the wintertime, even if it snows, because they heat up. There's actual coils, metal coils, underneath this display. And then during the summertime, they don't get too hot because those same coils cool down this. They're written in a font, I think, called Optima. Make it very clear, very neutral. Dwayne asked, was I ever at World Trade Center? I did visit the World Trade Center when I was 8 years old. I came here with my parents. We went all the way to the very top, and I was blown away. This would have been the view that I saw. This is not my photo, but it's around the same time. This is the view that you would have seen from the very top of the World Trade Center back then. New York City didn't have those super skinny skyscrapers yet. And you were able to walk out on top in open air, which blew me away. And they also had the indoor part of it as well, with the restaurant. This is the lobby. And of course, the entire building is known for its, in essence, exoskeleton, which was very innovative to make a very light structure, but able to be protected from the elements. And right here is one of the floors that it's a little bit higher. Should be like the 4th or 5th or 6th floor. And that's how it looked like inside. From the outside, this is what you would have seen. Now you can see that the towers are very, very, very close to the water. And it's because the towers used to stand on actual water. So where we're walking through right now used to be Hudson River. If we were walking here in 1961, I would need to swim or be on the ferry. Otherwise, 1961. They had to make all of this out of landfill. The thing is, the towers had to have a very strong foundation. That's why the footprints are very deep. And I'll show you the South Tower soon. Former super urbanist Josephine wants us with. But those towers had to have such a strong foundation that to dig very deep. The case with many of New York City's skyscrapers. For the Midtown skyscrapers than it was here. They couldn't get to the bedrock. So there was so much landfill. Luckily, they end up using that landfill to build this Park City. Of lag. All right, let's walk through. So right here we have Battery Park. So this is the entire site plan for the World Trade Center. Before this was the World Trade Center, there used to be two different neighborhoods here. Radio Row, which was a place where people would buy radios, and or Little Syria. It's more associated with Syrians. So it was Little Syria. And those neighborhoods had to be destroyed in order to build this. Now this is what the office plan would have been, or was. And they had express elevators. Now the elevators were on the outside, which was I don't think anyone could be specifically blamed, because who would think of building a structure to take into account a potential plane crash? Especially not in New York City, where there's already heavy regulation on aviation ever since that plane crash of the Empire State Building back in the 1940s. So they built the elevators on the outside, and unfortunately when the planes crashed, since the elevators were on the outside and not so protected, people couldn't get down. Many people got stuck. With this new World Trade Center right over here, One World Trade Center, they decided what ended up being a terrible mistake, and made a core that is concrete reinforced And the elevators are within that core. The emergency elevators and the emergency staircase are within that core. So if this will crash, God forbid, the core will be much more fortified than any other previous skyscraper. So here we have a lot of different trees, and these trees are all planted to make it seem, pay homage to all the people who lost their lives. As far as I remember, the amount of trees are associated with the people who lost their lives outside the World Trade Center, I think. Diana. The building is heavily, heavily fortified. It's the most fortified skyscraper in the world. Okay. Tower. I gotta walk around because there's no pathway to go this other way. Can I go to the survivor tree? Yes. Just bear with me. Service.
People away from somebody you know. Well, this would have been all under.
Here you can buy your gift commemorative t-shirts, keychains, postcards, 9/11 memorial race cars. Oh, okay. memorial wreaths. Ahora que dice bienvenidos a la casa después de un viaje largo. Sí, gracias por viendo. Estamos viendo en español. Hoy es el 20 aniversario de los ataques terribles de septiembre 11 de 2001. Estamos ahora explorando la área donde estás, donde conmemoran, I don't know how to say commemorate or memorial in Spanish, do let me know. But aquí no está el memorial in New York. This is where the memorial is. Marinette says, thank you. This is beautiful. I feel like I'm there. I'm so glad.
Right before the COVID shut everything down.
This is a pear tree. But it's not just your ordinary tree. October 2001, a heap of rubble was left by the terrible attacks. World Trade Center 7 also collapsed, causing much damage to many of the surrounding buildings and also to the subway and PATH train station right underneath. First responders had to, or the people had to dig through all the rubble called Ground Zero and see if they could find any survivors. And then after a month passed by to see if there was any dangerous gas leaks or any dangerous short circuit electrical equipment in order to prevent any further harm. But as they were digging through the rubble, a tree stuck out. Now, having a tree stick out wasn't going to be out of the ordinary because many trees were planted and bushes and such were planted on the lobby or the main plaza of World Trade Center right over here. But this one had its branches charred, burned to a crisp. The branches also were cut off and they were just merely stumps, but still had leaves sprouting. This was sprouting from this tree, completely buried of metal, steel, concrete, pipes and such, and yet it was still there. However, it was in such terrible condition it had to be rushed over to the... It took 10 years to nurse this pear tree back to health. And in 2010, they replanted it without fail. And now, 10 years after that, it's still blooming to this day. The pear tree survived these terrible attacks and has been since then dubbed the survivor tree, which I think is also an homage to a similar tree that survived the terrible bombings of Oklahoma City. There was also another tree over there called the survivor tree. So let's get a little bit closer. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Maliki, how long did it take to clear the Ground Zero? I think it was a little bit more than a year. If anyone knows the exact timing, please let us know, but I think it was more than a year. interesting that this tree survived. Okay, so let's locate a name. We gotta go to S54. This is the South Tower. The South Tower was the one, I think, if I recall correctly, that was connected to the bedrock. And right now we're at S8. We're at S8, so we gotta go to S54, which is following on the other side. Here is battalion number 6. Timothy Matthew Welty. Also, they designed this in a way where it does not really erode. So this, I'm not sure exactly what they did with this material, but it's not supposed to erode. It's nice. They even had a hazmat unit. Rescue 1. My cousin's name right near there, Battalion 9, Edward Garotti. Okay. Battalion 9, Edward Garotti. Okay, let me know what section Edward Garotti is. I'll do my best to find it.
Yeah.
Edward Garotti. Pardon the mispronunciation. To know where I was, go to the beginning of the video. I talked about it about 10 minutes in. We have someone who is Puerto Rican. I'm not sure how many Puerto Ricans lost their lives, but I think it was fortunately a big number. And we have another one. Diana, if you can search online, I'll find it. Diana, my condolences. Memorial.org.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So, moving forward. And do you have words for first? So, sum them out. 20 years ago on this very day, 43 members. The day is sent. So that's 47 members. Continue to lose their lives. Patience wait. Flowers. But if you'd like to listen to the forward, I'll give you flowers. It's on the way. If you have any
touch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. Thomas DeAngelis.
Like from here down.
Okay, here we go. So here we go. Edward F. Garrotti. Diana, my deepest condolences. He was part of Battalion 9. Hearts to you, Diana. S16.
Not down.
Excuse me. Let me see this thing. Diana. Thomas Patrick DeAngelis. Diana, my heart also goes out to you, and Thomas Patrick DeAngelis. Part of Battalion 8. Now we're going to S54. I'll show you a few more names. Sure. That was quite a story, and then we'll go to the Oculus. Battalion is Firefighter's department. Do let us know the battalion if anyone can confirm. I think they are FDNY, fire department. And there were fire departments from other nearby areas like Long Island, Connecticut, Boston. I think they came from all around the U.S. even. So yeah, there were a lot of first responders, especially the ones that were in the nearby states that came over. It was also the biggest water evacuation in history. Someone earlier mentioned the figure of 500,000 people were evacuated by boat, which is huge in New York City history.
Hi, Ariel.
Hey,
From Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your name?
Rafael.
Oh, me too as well. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your name?
Hi,
How's it
Rafael.
going? Rafael. Oh,
Sí, sí. All my family follow you.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you
Nice
from
to meet you.
from the city? From Mexico?
No, Veracruz.
Veracruz.
Sí, sí.
Oh, close.
Estuviste por allá un tiempo hace poco.
Sí, hace
bueno,
poco,
te vienes
sí.
llegando, por cierto, que la viste
Exactamente. Sí,
Muy
estoy
bien.
bien emocionado de regresar a México a un futuro.
Sí, sí,
¿Te
sí.
está gustando Nueva York?
Sí, mucho. Ya es la cuarta vez que vengo.
Cuarta vez, wow, okay. Que tenga un buen día.
Igual, un gusto.
Just said hi as well. Rafael said in Spanish he's from Veracruz and he enjoyed the videos I did in Mexico. Someone just mentioned North 31. Okay, I'll do my best to show you North 31 from the other side. North 58. Hey, if you let me know a number, please let me know also the name. And then if one of the moderators want to volunteer on Facebook and on YT to collect the list of the names for North, do let me know. Right now I'm on South. But if anyone can collect the names North and just write it down in a comment later when I ask for it, I'll be so appreciative. South 54. Yes, if anyone has North names, ping, let Panejotes know. He's collecting the names. We'll find them. If you're in South, tell me now. Hey everyone, today no talk of politics, no talk about conspiracies. There's emergency sirens going on, I'm not sure why. No talk about conspiracies. No talk about theories, no talk about engineering. And please do not fight in the comments.
Excuse me.
Not
Are
tolerated.
you a guy on YouTube?
I am
what do you
indeed
cover? What do you cover?
Urbanist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love your stuff.
Oh, very cool. What are you here for? You're press?
Yeah, I'm press. Yeah.
Oh, who are you covering for?
Independent.
Independent. Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, very cool. I'm glad you're watching.
Awesome,
That's awesome.
awesome.
Thank
I
you so
love
much.
your stuff.
Have a good day.
I love that video you did, like you know, like the 1993 versus 2000.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you walked around like it was a time machine on the 6th train, and like it was so cool. Like how did you edit that video?
Well, that's so awesome that you saw that. Basically, I just spliced together the older video and the newer video.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to keep on going. Thank you so much.
All right,
Have a good day. All right, S54. We're getting close.
I haven't been here in a long time.
Maybe we could drive before food.
Robert. Not Robert Joseph. Robert. Josephine. Josephine has been kind and contributing in the past, a former super urbanist. Thank you so much, Josephine, for contributions. My heart goes out to you and to your loved one, Robert J. Halligan. So everyone send hearts to Josephine. Josephine, I hope you end up watching this video. May he rest in peace. Robert J. Halligan.
Sammy's waiting for us.
Crazy security. The names are mixed by nationality or origin. The names are not in alphabetical. They are together according to their relationships. So people who worked in the same office or the same post, maybe the cleaning staff or the electricians, or the people who were the wait staff at the Windows of the World, or the first responders. They are all grouped together, and also the 6 people who passed away during the 1993 bombing. So it was an algorithm that was created to group them together. Bobby, yes, if anyone has any names for South, I'll give you a few more. I'll give you one more minute. I'll do my best to find it in this area for South, and then we'll go to North to show a few more names. So if you have South, speak now, forever hold your peace. Where can you go to find the names? The names are found in 911memorial.org, and there is the list of names, and there's either the letter S or N, means north or south, and a double-digit number that goes all the way up to 76. Is that the whole square where the towers were, or just one? This is one tower. This is the south tower, and then the north tower, we showed it earlier in the broadcast, and we're going to go one more time back then. Okay, so S46. So if anyone's keeping track of the north, please do let me know. S46 is a boss, Rick Rascorla. Okay, we gotta go back this way. Alright, I'll wait for just one more south. We'll find S46. If anyone has one more. So I'm not going too much back and forth. Shiny says, I read that the footprint of the memorial is only 30% smaller. Dominic says north 50. All right. If any for Panayotis who's collecting the names, we got another north. All right. So one more south name, and then we're going north. We gotta go back to 46. This broadcast, no talk about theories or speculation. There's many other places you can discuss that today. Not here. Rick Rascorla. Rascorla. Rick Rascorla. Is Rick actually named Richard? Yeah. Yeah, that's him. Richard Cyril Rascorla. Someone put what appears to be a King Kong. So AR, the Rich Cyril Rascorla. Rest in peace. He's right over here. His name is pretty much covered, so I don't want to move too many things, but there's a reason he has so much stuff. Oh, really? Was he a very popular guy? Seems like it. S67. Ah, okay, so one last one for south. S67, because it's on the way to north. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for, well, not thank you, but I'm glad you're watching. It was my pleasure to show you these names. Now we're going north. So if anyone has any north, I will show it to you. Any more north, feel free to tell me. Tell Panayotis on YT, and if anyone on FB could keep track of the north, please let me know. So Kay, just when I ask you, just give me the list of names and.
Solid wash liquid.
Time goes on.
Yeah.
67. 67. Rick has an amazing story. Says Rob, he was a true hero. If anyone hasn't heard of him, oh, do let us know a short version of Rick's story. Now I'm so curious. He seemed to be very popular. Do let us know.
Listen to what I'm telling you right now. That white dot. Go down to the bottom of it, and right through that blue.
Mark for Rob, Mark Bingham. May he rest in peace. My condolences, Rob. Right here. I don't see any other Mark over here. Mark Bingham.
If you go around on the west
Okay, so AR said Rick, who we saw earlier, his name, worked in security and ran irregular drills to prepare his company staff after a long military career, and returned to the building after they all got out to save others. Oh, wow. Oh, he's a true hero. Was he, if I may ask, was he depicted in the film by Oliver Stone, World Trade Center, I think it was called? I remember seeing his story depicted somewhere. Might have been on a documentary, actually. North names, I'll find a few of them. Panajotes and K. Panajotes on YT, K on FB. Let me know the North names right now in all in one go. I'll find them just so I'm not zigzagging back and forth. A little bit of the museum over here. He was on the National Geographic documentary. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. Yeah. So Rick's story was in the Nat Geo documentary. Oh no, Panajotas, let me know all the names in one comment so I can just put it on screen and have them all available. Bobby, if you want me to find a name like Jimmy Quinn, go to 911memorial.org and tell me his 3-digit designation. If he's on the north side, I'll be able to find it. Okay, so we got K's. Into your mega comment. I'll be so appreciative, so I can just tag all of them at once. There was like two or three others on YT. So if anyone wanted me to find the North name right now on YT, so we can have them all in the mega comment. There's a light beacon also in this place. I think it should be nearby, but I'm not 100% sure if it's exactly here. I think it's a little bit closer to the Hudson. Dominic says Norbert came from Poland just a few years ago before 9/11. At the time of 9/11, he and her wife weren't expecting. Maria says, please find my son's name. Yes, let me know your son's name and let me know the designation. 911memorial.org. There's a list of names with a letter and 2 numbers. Melissa says Matthew Diaz lived in Brooklyn, and his wife and the young 2 sons liked to play video games, Star Wars figurines with his children. Oh, that's so cool. He was on the contract job at Cantor Fitzgerald on the North Tower on 105th floor. My condolences. Wonderful, S. Fields. Thank you so much. If you can combine it with Kay's comment that's tagged right here. Right here. If you can write those 3 names as well with the 3 names you've written all together in one comment, I'll be so appreciative. Let me know. S. Fields, if you could combine those 3 with this one in the comment, I'll be so appreciated. I can't tag 2 comments at the same time. And 31, 39, 50. Cool. Thank you. Is there any others? You let me know. 31, 39, 50. Okay, 39. 39 is Dorothy. Very cool. Thank you so much for 100 stars. I was unable to locate Dorothy.
Have a nice day.
Like I just gotta tell you, my kids, it's like, oh my god.
If you also want to go back, you can go back.
I was thinking they were gonna.
How the hell did we find you guys? How the heck did we find you guys?
There's so many services here.
All right, to the person who asked me to find Simon Madison, here he is. May he rest in peace. Simon Madison. All right, two more. Dorothy was on North 31. There's a lot of people named Dorothy. Dorothy J. Chiara. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that, but Dorothy Chi. Okay, Panagiotis, if you can let me know what were the 250 names, N50s, in one comment. Is the museum open today? You know, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. If anyone could check if the 9/11 Memorial Museum is open today. Okay, Mike. Got here just in time. I'll go back to 39. Amy O. Daughtry. Mike, my condolences. Amy O. Daughtry. Seems like one of your family members or her family members left a flower. May she rest in peace. James Francis Quinn. One more. James Francis.
Whenever you put one school in the school, and you go like that, right?
I wish
Okay, I'll call you back.
James Francis Quinn. Remind me who you were, who was tuning in, asking for James. May James Francis Quinn rest in peace. Okay, for the final two, Dorothy and Norbert. All right, so after that, I'm going to show you the Oculus, and I'm going to show you the sculpture that survived the wreckage. Lorraine, thank you so much for 500 stars. Okay, Phil says, I would be very comforted, Ariel, that you have taken the time to find a loved one's name and gently touch it, saying a few words. If I were bereaved from 9/11, thank you for your kindness and thoughtfulness. My pleasure. Stony, hello from New Zealand. Phil, thank you so much for the kind words.
No, me parece que don't touch it. Wow. Oh my
Excuse me. To Norbert P. Seems like family has come here. Norbert P. May you rest in peace. Let me know if you know the family that has come here. Seems either one or two of them. Dominic says, thank you for your effort. Yes, thank you everyone for coordinating to tell me what the names are and the designations. We have one more I'll show you. N58. Now here we're very full. Lots of people here. This side. Mighty Bull, thank you so much for a $5 super chat. Appreciate it.
So I feel like that captures sort of. That's a really good one.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, our final name for today, we have Dorothy Chi. Also someone left out flowers for Dorothy today. May she rest in peace.
Like a memorial.
Okay, Christine, if you could write it down one more time. Christine has been such a lovely supporter, a very frequent star sender and super chatter. So yeah, let me know the name one more time. And I wish I could find every single name, everyone. I hope you're able to visit in person. And if not, I hope there's some type of service someone is offering to find every single name and show it to you somehow. But thank you so much for tuning in. Let's go to 2 more spots. We have N45, 2 more spots to show you of this World Trade Center area. And may everyone who lost their lives rest in peace. We have one more. Big wire here. So Michael to Christine. May Michael Bradley Finnegan. It's Irish American. Bradley Finnegan. May he rest in peace.
Well behaved.
Can I get
Then
wet
you.
cardboard?
Look at that.
Mom!
Yeah.
Can I get wet cardboard?
JF, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, and Shiny, thank you so much for the €10 super chat. Everyone, thank you so much for the super chats. If I missed any or a stars, do let me know. Hearts out to you. Here from, of course, video of. Few live videos. Go over to the. All right.
Alright, you're okay. Let's go get something to drink or maybe an ice cream or something.
AR said, couldn't hear a word you saying. Yeah, so sorry. There's a lot of buffering here. Lots of camera crews. Hey, Diana. Thank you so much for a $5 super chat. My pleasure. I'm glad I was able to locate those 2 names. I know you had a few others. I hope you do get to visit in person or have a family member that can. Vinny Avina, thank you so much for the 99 stars. I appreciate it. All right, let's go inside the Oculus so you can see the new construction. Let me show it to you from the outside. So here's the map. This is formerly known as the World Trade Center. During the attack, right after, it caused complete devastation to the subway system. It was irrecoverable, aside from the tunnels, which they had to really dig through tons and tons of rubble. But after many, many years, they hired architect Santiago Calatrava to build this massive new transit hub that connected both the PATH train and also the several subway trains as well. So let's walk around here, the Oculus. Now, there's a lot of theories as to what this looks like, but I'll tell you right away, it's supposed to symbolize a boy letting a dove fly away from his hands. Ludo says it looks like a bird. Yes, that's exactly the intention. Let's go inside.
Where we were before?
Oh, I didn't.
Christine, thank you so much for the stars, and Agnes as well. Stars are counting for double, so thank you so much. And you'll be seeing Ireland soon. Oh yeah, wait, there's a traffic jam. Bear with me. So they did put the flag again. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the World Trade Center Transportation Hub, part of the greater World Trade Center complex. This snakes all the way underground the entire complex, connecting two major trains, the PATH system and the MTA subway, which is the New York City subway system. Now, every single September 11th, at a specific time, the sun reflects perfectly on One World Trade Center and leaves a perfect streak of sunlight across. I wish I could have seen that today, but yeah, you have to come early on September 11th to see that event. $4 billion, only 4 firms, they were all based in Europe. I think they were based in Italy. That can make this type of curved steel strong enough. We got a lot of people.
Mañana me voy a poner.
Teresa, is this the train station? Indeed it is. It connects here, the one train, there's a few other trains. This was the train station that was most affected, and they had to completely rebuild it new. Let me show it over here. It's a train station with a mall right in between. Hey, Alan says bedtime for you. Much appreciated. My pleasure, Alan. Thank you so much for tuning in. Agnes, thank you so much for the 50 stars. Are those names written down? No, those are I think the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
if anyone can confirm what document it was. I think it's the Bill of Rights written down. Diana, I'll be in New York City next month. Oh, I'm glad you're visiting, Diana. Firefly, you're watching from Lower Hudson Valley. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in, Firefly. Let's go downstairs. Thank you so much. Agnes says, you're the star. Oh, thank you so much, Agnes. Is this a place, also a shopping center? Yes, it is. Full shopping center between two train stations. It's a train sandwich. Instead of cheese and ham, it's a mall. Hey, Roxanne, thank you so much for the $5. This place blows my mind, says Inspire Life. Right, yeah, it's so interestingly designed. Santiago Calatrava, the architect, apparently designed this so his 80-year-old something grandmother could navigate her way around. I'm not sure if he was fully successful in that endeavor, but nonetheless, it is gorgeous space. This is Westfield? Yeah, it's owned by Westfield. So I think it should be called Westfield Mall. Coffee pick you up, says Phil. Oh, yeah. There is coffee here. So my coffee recommendation inside the Oculus is Joe, the Art of Coffee, which is down this way. Down this way. Is Broadway open? Yeah, Broadway should be open right now. Zekoslav says it was lagging outside because of too many people. Yep, that is indeed the case. So here we see One World Trade Center. People sometimes call it a Freedom Tower, even though that was the name of a proposal that wasn't accepted by Daniel Libeskind. But as I mentioned, in the morning of September 11th every year, the sun shines. If it's a sunny day, the sun shines and leaves a perfect streak of light down the center. I'm sure there's photos available of that event. Maureen, yeah, sorry I couldn't find her. The N3. Sorry, I couldn't find the other person. You have to be vaccinated to enter. No, you don't have to be vaccinated to enter. No. No, not to enter a train station. Only for restaurants, indoors, Broadway, museums, and other landmarks and attractions that are indoors. Require proof of V. Not train stations, subways, none of that. Lorraine, you say it's beautiful inside. Indeed it is. It's gorgeous. It's truly one of the more unique train stations in the world, aside from the other train station that looks exactly the same by Santiago Calatrava in France. But beyond that train is one of the most unique train stations in the world. Just ignore that French one that he built before this one. All right, let's continue walking around. What should we show? What should we do? Oh yeah, let me show you the sculpture that survived 9/11. Luis asked, do they do events here? Yeah, all the time. There was a huge event where they showed exhibition of the Sistine Chapel. There was one, I think, about Leonardo da Vinci. There's been a few. Hey, Henry says, have you ever been to San Francisco? No, I've never been to SF, so I don't know the similarities between SF and NYC. If I were to speculate, SF, San Francisco, was built before the age of the car, grew to a big city even before the car, which really became in use in the 1920s. That said, these cities that predate the car generally are much more walkable. So San Francisco is one of those cities, like Boston, like Chicago, and like New York. Now, San Francisco, like New York and like Boston, was built in an island or a series of islands or a peninsula like Boston. So that said, it never really was carved up too much by highways. And that's why SF, Boston, and New York all share that in common. Susie saw John Lennon perform here. Oh, that's so cool. Ronald says, please ignore the people who are trolling. Yes, please. If you see anyone trolling, ignore them. Our moderators are amazing. They take care of it. Everyone give a round of hearts to all the moderators. K on FB, and we have a few on YT, Ronald, SF, S Fields, and we have many others tuning in. Let me know the other moderators that are tuning in right now. Panajotis as well, and Susan on Twitch. Give them a round of hearts for keeping the good vibes today. Good vibes. Okay, let's go back outside. Let's see if there's another route I can take. Okay, I'm gonna take the long way around. Hey, Benjamin, thank you so much for a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Benjamin. Super chats and stars help keep the show thriving and growing and showing you interesting places, museums, attractions, landmarks, food, interesting tours like bus tours. The list goes on. So thank you so much for your super chats and for data so I can live stream for long periods of time in different parts of the world and in New York, and also for gear so I can give you steady footage in the HD. So thank you so much for all your contributions. One more stop today. But we're gonna take the long way around to avoid the crowds. This place is huge, holy moly. Yeah, it's a full mall. Yeah. Full indoor mall. You can buy some Under Armour if you need to work out in New York. You can buy some Pandora if you want to bedazzle yourself. And if you want to bedazzle yourself with makeup, you can go to MAC. Or if you want to look like you just came off the golf course in Florida, you can get some Lacoste. Might be mispronouncing that. When will you be live streaming again? Not today. I'll be live streaming again later this week. And I'll be in a completely new country. Stay tuned. Oh. Shout out to Ronald. Ronald, moderator, amazing urbanist who's been tuning in for a year, is a huge fan of toy cars. And This is of miniature cars. So Ronald, I think you would enjoy this. Let me let's give Ronald kudos for tuning in so long, and let's explore it just briefly. Okay, I had to play music because they were playing some hip hop. No prices showing? No, they didn't show the prices, no. Hey Diana, you say my son and his wife are going to Lake Como next week. Oh, you told them about the boat ride. Oh, I'm so glad they're going to Lake Como. I really want to go back. I keep dreaming about Lake Como. So I'm super excited to go back at some point in my life. Here's like a little mini food court. Gansevoort. Oh, Gansevoort. It's not the same one as the one right by the meatpacking district. Thank you so much, Maureen, for the $10 super chat. Oh, Maureen, so kind enough for $10. Thank you so much. Feels like an airport. It does indeed, yeah. Here we have Zuccotti Park. It's across the street. Bathroom's up on the top floor if you need it. Yes. Hey, Melanie! I finally got over the hump of getting my son off to college. UC Merced. I'm hope to catch more live streams. Oh, Melanie! Congratulations to your son going to college. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad everything went smoothly. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. So here is Zuccotti Park. Here in 2011, there were massive protests called Occupy Wall Street. This entire block had people living here for weeks on end. But that's not so relevant to today's broadcast, so let's go down over here to our final stop. The stream definitely passes the vibe check, says Shiny. Indeed it does. Alex says 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. It is the 20th anniversary. Lori, algum brasileiro? Oi, tudo bem? That's all I know about Brazilian. Don't know too much more. Never seen a fire truck so close.
You know, like I've been staying with my dad right now. Yeah.
Kay says 4,000 stars. I said, thank you so much. So this is Ladder Company, Ladder 10 and Engine 10. Ladder 10 and Engine 10. 1979, this was erected. So they usually have a commemorance playing the bagpipes, and there's like a standing of the guard. I'm not sure what they call it for the FDNY, but they do that throughout the day. And of course, these guys were really the first to respond, first of the first responders.
Oh, yeah.
And many of them did pass away. Dedicated to those who fell and to those who carried. May we never forget.
So that's why some places we have it.
Lorraine, thank you so much for 500 stars. Appreciate it. FDNY 343. New York City had a long history of fireboats because for more than 2 centuries, most of industry and manufacturing was right by the water. And if a fire happened, which it did inevitably, there was always a team of fireboats that would put out fires. Fireboats throughout the past 60, 70 years were mostly discontinued. There was only 1 or 2 or 3 of them, a few, just less than a handful of them. Very old, and that one helped put out the fires of Twin Towers, and it's depicted right here. I actually did a full live video from that fireboat and a 360 video about if anyone wants to dig into the Facebook archives. Go to facebook.com/Urbanist Live. Urbanist Live, and there you'll see that video with the fireboat. Always filled with. And this is O'Hara's Pub. Ludo, did something happen to this place? 311. Those were the first men who responded to the emergency. And many of them did die. Pineapple, thank you so much. So here's O'Hara's Pub. Harlem, New York. Very bad service. Marianne, thank you so much for the 500 stars. All right. Without further ado, let's go to one more stop. I gotta take the long way around. It's lagging. Yeah, a lot of people out there using their phone here. Let's see if they allow me. So, right over here, they're building a Greek Orthodox church. I think it's Greek Orthodox. Yeah, it should be. Oh wow, I'm surprised these guys are riding through here. The bicyclist guys. They're doing the Uring and the wheelies. What? Why are they doing that here? That's so weird. Ambrose says, oh no, yeah, I'm kind of shocked those bicyclist kids are always make a scene in Times Square. I'm surprised they're riding through here, of all places. Yeah, so this is the St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church National Shrine. Of course, there were people from all different religions and upbringings that were victims of the terrible attacks, not just majority of the US of A, but Catholics, Greek Orthodox people as well, Buddhists, you name it, more than 2,000 people. There was at least one person representing a different faith. And finally, it's coming near completion. This has been under construction for, wow, 10 plus years. I'm not sure why it's taken so long, but beautiful marble. What appears to look like marble from the outside. Jason, thank you so much for the 200 stars. Pineapple Water, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. The museum is indeed closed today. Oh, thank you so much. The museum is indeed closed. So this will be the final product. And the other new World Trade Center buildings. Now let's go over here. So, World Trade Center, like it does today, has had a massive plaza. It's by regulation for most skyscrapers in New York City. They have to have a huge plaza. And this was the plaza. I remember walking through this plaza when I was a mere 8 years old, going up to the Twin Towers to see them from the very top. And I was blown away by how huge these buildings look like from the perspective of the ground level. In the middle of this plaza was this sculpture, the sphere. This sphere, of course, in the wreckage. How could this tiny little sculpture survive these gigantic towers crumbling down? But yet, as they dug through the entire wreckage of 9/11, all this they found it. And the interesting thing is, it was just a little bit beaten up, but still intact. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a sculpture that survived the collapse of the Twin Towers, buried under tons of rubble, steel, stone, and pipes, and yet nearly unscathed. Here, still standing to this day, the Koenig sphere. As you can see, it is beaten up. It still has its scars. Strongest piece of art to ever exist, says Josh, indeed. When did they move this from Battery Park? That's a great question. It was located at Battery Park for quite a while. They moved, I think, once they built the memorial, so it might have been like 6-7 years ago.
Siguiendo por 1171, la esfera, tomó otro significado de esperanza, felicidad.
Driver of the wreckage is this walkway. This walkway linked over to Battery Park City. There was actually 2 of these walkways. Now it links over to Brookfield Place, the mall, the other mall. There used to be another one. The other one fully collapsed, but this one also survived, and they were able to repair it. And you can still walk through it to this day. I think it's temporarily closed, but you can still walk through it. So one more time, the entire memorial grounds, the Oculus when we went earlier, and One World Trade Center. I have plenty of videos of going up to the top, live videos during sunset, and also a mini documentary about its construction. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this help some people reconnect with some loved ones, because I know people are tuning in from all around the world, and not everyone's able to come to New York City themselves and pay their own respects to the loved ones that they might have been connected to with here at what used to be World Trade Center. So I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your kind contributions, your super chats and your stars and your PayPals. And I'll be back later this week in Ireland, and a lot of the people who did pass away here were indeed Irish ancestry. So I think it'll be very interesting to kind of reconnect with that aspect of New York, the aspect of the Irish ancestry that at some point in New York City's history, 1 in 4 people were Irish. I'll be back later to announce exactly when I'll be on. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. And may all the people who suffered rest in peace.